4 rounds, they've had the first kill each and every single time, and they've only lost one of them. See if Shopify Rebellion can kind of adjust to this play, because this is the 4th time that Sentinels, the 2nd time that they switched it up in terms of getting aggressive towards tree, getting aggressive towards, okay, they're switching it back and forth. This time, they're going to do the same thing here again, get aggressive over towards tree off of Zelsis. We'll see if Shopify can make that kind of read, because that's what Sentinels have been doing, and it's giving them these first kills, giving them the early success. Not as much pressure this time around, though. Zelsis sees nothing, and that's going to cue the early rotate, allowing Shroud to play with the rest of his team on A.
Oh, they're actually going to try to take this courtyard control. Tens on the front side, going to be able to spray down at 1, but that's the only one. Shazam with a flash, and the spray is even better. 2 kills for Shazam. Spike is in his control. Aftershock in, and that's going to pressure out Moose. Mata has such low HP. Look at this pressure from Sentinels. They have all of this control. The Spike and Shopify are out and away.
It's just unfair. Shopify aren't even getting a chance to get on site. Shut down in this round, and well, there's nowhere for them to go. Low HP for Mata. Moose can try and be clear, but that is Sentinels on a dime using the util. This is a completely different Sentinels from what we saw in stage 1, stage 2, and an even better look from what we saw yesterday. Overwhelming them tremendously in this kind of play.
And again, on a map like this that they just simply don't play. I mean, the last time that we saw them play this was 2 months ago. We're pretty close against FaZe at that point. A completely different comp, though. A new look Sentinels. They're learning, Sully.
And they're adapting on the fly, adjusting in that instance, knowing that Shopify will send Mata out through sand to try and be the opener. And he's going to try and be an over here, over towards B main. This is ridiculous from Sentinels.
Sentinels have taken B main control over almost every single round. And this is the first time where we finally get a 1v1 there. And Shopify are humbled.
And it's another first blood. Sentinels again continuing to dominate. Zelsis and Tens both playing lights out right now. 2 apiece. That might have been 3 there for Zelsis. And this is just getting a little bit out of hand for Shopify. This could be 5-1 if Sentinels can convert again.
Just the pistols here for Shopify. They did rely on the tour de force. Moose actually comes around the corner with a big headshot, and so does Tig. 2v2 now.
They're playing here with the ultimates. They need this null command before Shazam can get the rolling thunder, and they do.
There you go.
Perfectly timed, Shazam. No Q to get back in, and they do know as Tens tries to aggress. Wanted a solo play, and this is the recovery that Shopify needed. Moose with a huge 3K was big in map 1 and comes big here for the 2nd of Shopify.
Oh, what was this, Sully? We were talking such doom and gloom at the beginning of the round for Shopify. We were expecting the 5-1, right? We were expecting maybe a comeback for Shopify at that point. But the Thrifty? How did that even happen?
Recovering. Giving up those 1v1s, unfortunately, Sentinels. It's still early days, Shopify. I always say this, even if you win a Thrifty, you have to replicate it in the round after. You have to be able to repeat your success. And you've used your null command. You have a rolling thunder and orbital strike that Moose has been sitting on since round number 3. Sentinels got ults of their own. Dapper with the null command, they've got pressure. 3 players, they're ready to use the util here from Shazam to take this map control, and they do exactly that.
Oh,
but it doesn't work.
It's just a clean sweep.
Spike drop.
I mean, you can't get any better than that. There's not even overwhelming util at that point. Everyone from Sentinels, they had the right positions, the same positions that they were playing before on this hold.
You go in so blind towards A main. So blind. That ult is queued off of nothing. That's the first time Shopify have won a first duel. They've got their first kill in this map, and it's off of an attempt at a double push. So clean, so good there. Dazzle to take 3 lives. And a quick reaction, Sentinels will have to just save.
You have Tig. Could be able to take down some of these guns. Again, Shopify, what a return to form. Again, the economy of Sentinels is still something that Shopify actually has to worry about, and it's just getting shipped down. There's no way that they can actually rebuy fully into the next round either. Tens does get the kill into Tig, but with the second player gone, yeah, no, the rebuy is impossible.
We'll see it here again. I mean, this is just a ginormous risk. Ginormous risk to kind of take that ult with really no sound cues. That felt a little bit random from Sentinels, and yeah, we'll have to call the timeout despite this dominance that it feels like they're having, because they are dominating that first kill department, they've only had to retake once. Shopify were so good yesterday against Cloud9 and post plants, but they just haven't had the chance to get the spike down. 10 plants and 7 wins against Cloud9. Once you give them the opportunity, once Shopify have found the mixture of success, what gives them the opportunity to get onto the spikes or get on site and get the spike down, that's what will be the key for Shopify.
It's tough to even think about, though, because, again, the last round, when we talk about the first picks, that was almost given to them on a silver platter. Sentinels, they had the overall push, and the util just comes that little bit late. So maybe Sentinels will at least change the timing, or at least go a bit faster if they actually want to commit to a main push like that. But it's so weird to think Shopify could actually be in such a different scenario if that round if that 1-2-person interaction against Dazzle goes a different way.
Yeah, I mean, if they got the timing a little bit better on that Rolling Thunder, but it's all in the past now, and Sentinels off of this timeout, planning what to do for the future. It's a kind of a shifty, awkward buy. 2 players will be able to buy in the next, but 3 will not be able to. And Mata looking to accelerate, looking to aggress. This is different from Shopify. And what can they do to slow them down? There's no one in tower, and Mata's going to beat them to it.
Mata's already here, and he just goes through the aftershock and the nade. Well done as he takes down Dapper entirely. We still have the rotation very fast. No! Oh, and a knife at the same time as Mata just takes down Dapper on the floor. Disrespectful, but here we go. Still a 3v5. You still have Sentinels, still with a Tour de Force and a gun.
We'll see what they can do damage-wise, because it doesn't feel like this is a round where you want to risk anything. Tens
Surely not.
should be looking to get those exits, but right now, Sentinels not able to have success in these post-plant, these retake situations. This is Shopify with another plant, a 5th plant, and now a 4th win. That is the success they're bringing. And while Shazam is trying to go big, I don't know if the time is really going to give him the opportunity.
As Shazam's just going through in the double tower. And Shirley is going to get held down. Well done. Tens is here for exits. He's going to be able to find one. The spray from Tig keeps the economy very, very stable for Shopify. Again, we still have quite a few rounds to go in this half. Sentinels now, they have to regroup. Because now their economy is very unstable. Do they even? No, they have to just go for a half buy here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and play around Zelsis' overdrive. But yeah, that last round, I mean, the buy felt really awkward because 3 of those players were not going to be able to buy on this next. Dapper would have been able to go for the full buy. Same thing here with Shroud. So it felt awkward in the last, but they have managed to cope a little bit, had a game plan. You try to have hero rifles for Shroud and Dapper. It's Shopify bringing us back 4 rounds in a row. Apologies, 3 rounds in a row. And Sentinels will try and get aggressive. All the same, Zealous is yet to pop that overdrive, and Shopify, they're reading into that kind of play. They know that they love to get aggressive towards B main, so they regroup. Looking to hit now the A site. Just have to worry about Tens' positioning, really.
Yeah, that's all about it. Because, oh, wow.
Really
They expend the triple smokes alongside the fast lane. Again, they still have to worry somehow about Tens, but he just has a shorty. Alongside the Headhunter, control has been taken. Not a lot of util here for Shopify in the post.
Yeah, this is Sentinel's first eco round. They have full kit of util for Dapper to try and make it happen. Not to mention the overdrive, which can be incredibly powerful. Not yet the triple headshot multiplier that people have been expecting. But look at the off-site tendencies here for Shopify.
There goes the Rolling Thunder holding back the site. And like you said, 3 players trying to come back here for Sentinels, trying to come out of dish. Shroud's on the front side, trying to get a right click through. Dapper, he's actually the one to take down Dazzle. Dazzle is fully discombobulated. There goes the spray. Has to nail the spray here for B-Dog. B-Dog with a triple. Still 1 more to go in the middle of sight. And it's Shroud that can only get kills. Shopify, they had to really rely on their laurels in terms of B-Dog being up in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, they really relied on that post-plan situation. 3 players, Tig, Moose, and Mata, all dumping util. First the fragment, then the relay bolt or the stun. So many pieces of util to slow it down, and B-Dog just kind of playing around it, knowing that he has the advantage off of this util, and well, brilliantly played again. 4 plants and 4 wins for Shopify Rebellion. As they get a 4th in a row. 5-4 now they lead, and it will be Sentinels who pick up 10s on the operator. They have slowed down a little bit in the first kill department. They are starting to even it out here, Shopify.
Oh, good TP.
Never mind.
But
Never mind.
Wow, okay, yeah. The first kill this time going back towards Zelsis. That's yet another one for him. He is actually stacking it up currently. But Shopify, they have control The outside of A main. Mata hasn't been spotted. He's through. Dapper's been spotted. The rifle, the barrel is gone. But he actually doesn't know about the position up in dish.
He should know. I'd imagine Tens' pressure has been here 2 rounds in a row, and this will be the 2nd time. And he's watching for it just in case. They're very wary to flash to set him up,
Nice.
and Tens ducks out just very quickly. Doesn't want to overwhelm himself.
Good TP. Mata taking up more control here under ropes. Zelsis is going to have to do something very ballsy to get out of here. And indeed, he just jumps on out. Mata takes him down easily. Tens is down so low, but he still has the off.
Spike planted.
Mata still holds. Mata still looks, and Tens on 5 HP, like you said, so low. But it doesn't matter because he's got the op. Dazzle though, with the swing, and that might just seal the fate. Another plant, and what could be another win unless these players can come up huge.
Tens, again, a one-shot potential. Shroud might have seen the player in the middle of sight. They have no idea where Moose is right now, and he has the molly to use.
One enemy
There
remaining.
goes Shroud, and Mata takes him down. He's done for. Tens, he has an off to save. That's the worst part. That was an off that they could have held on. But Mata, a 4K on the round. The overdrive back in his hands. Sentinels, another round where they have to recoup, and again, they would love to have that op in their hands.
Such a swing around here from Shopify Rebellion. Mata just somehow creeping all the way up, bringing us back from a 4v5 to another 4v5 win for Shopify Rebellion. These post plants, they're just indomitable right now. He's been looking so good, Mata. In that round, he makes up almost 50% of his kills.
It's not like Shopify, too. It's not like they're winning every single first kill, right? Out of the last 5 rounds, the majority of them actually went back to Sentinels. 3 rounds out of the last 5. First kills going to Sentinels. Even though it's been 5 straight for Shopify.
They've been recovering so well, and keep in mind, yeah, the first kill side dominated right now. Sentinels 8 first kills, and only 2 for Shopify Rebellion. Yet Shopify Rebellion are leading 6-4.
You said 8?
And Mata accounts for half of those first kills for Sentinels. He's died 4 times, 10 total in this series, but he's still fragging out. Well, in the rounds that he lives, I should say.
The rounds that he's actually able to be there for the post plant. Here we go. Sentinels still with their pistols. No one has been able to get a contact in just yet, except for Tens. Finally collects a 1v1 back over towards A. It's not a win for him. He readjusts back into A site. Spike is right next to him, but he has no idea. Everyone from Shopify currently in a default position.
See if Tens can maybe get something here close. There's no knife to flush him out. He will be able to take the TP if he is a little overwhelmed, and he is.
That's
Trying
unfortunate.
to quick switch. And B-Dog slipping on through. Just slipping on through for 2.
That's so slick. There was no way that those 2 were going to be able to react to that. I mean, again, if they were actually able to get into A main, their 3 players retake from A main for Sentinels could have actually been so detrimental for Shopify, but they ended off with a Prime Gaming flawless instead.
And Shopify now really switching the narrative from what we had in the opening rounds. It felt Sentinels in full control. When they have the recipes, Shopify have found it. Getting this spike down has been the key to their success. And now we go into possibly the second half with Shopify at a demanding lead. Again, Sentinels have been on the back foot both times in these maps at a 7-5 possibly. This could be a 7-5, but they've been at a deficit each time transitioning into that second half. And right now, Shopify taking these exceptionally slow now.
But this is the absolute slowest play that you could pull here on Fracture. They are right in the middle of their spawns. They are not moving at all into either dish or mains.
Trying to welcome the aggression from Sentinels, really. I think also scared of the opping position. Tens.
Sentinels making a move.
Not a team that over-aggresses. Yeah, you mentioned Mata making a move finally. Will be spotted out, and that's pressure. A player should pivot from Sentinels, maybe change their position, but it hasn't done anything. They're just going to stick in towards A main.
Zelsis heard that. And this is all Zelsis. A 1v3 for him, but he gets spotted by Dazzle. He still takes him down, though. Did spot the spike. Here comes the peek from Shroud. Shroud trying to re-clear B main, and he still has yet another teammate right next to him. Shazam with the Rolling Thunder, looking to re-clear this. Moose around the corner, needs a headshot to really make it count, but it just won't happen. A really, really tall task here for B-Dog.
Sentinels finally able to deny 6 in a row, the spike's gone on. 6 in a row for Shopify Rebellion, and now Sentinels have denied it. Just at the very end of this first half, and B-Dog.
Wow.
It's got at least an isolated
flash.
1v1. Just one, though.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, Shazam's done. There goes a headshot. B-Dog still looking for more, but Dapper strikes down with the one shot. So Sentinels, yes, they do find one round back, but Shopify, they had 6 plants and 6 wins in a row. What a return to form for Shopify. Let's see if they can continue that momentum and take things to a map 3 after the break.
It's 7-5, Shopify. Every single round came from a post-plant situation, and they won every single one of them outside of the pistol. Now, on the defensive side, where they struggled against Cloud9 to keep them from getting the spike down, can Sentinels find a comeback? They did it on Breeze. They can do it here again on this attacking side. And we'll see if they got the same success that Shopify had on theirs.
They're going to be starting off fast. Sentinels, all of them over towards the left side of your map.
Tig is lost.
They're all in B, and Zelsis is just going through fast. Tig is lost, and he's out of here, but B-Dog is still spraying through. He still has the shotgun to use, still has the shorty and the headhunter. Neither one is going to work out for the kill against Shroud. Well done from Shroud.
And these 3 players from Shopify are coming up fast, hot and ready to go. Mata will be spotted out in the loss. Shazam with this ghost is just so clean. Another kill for him. Would have been nice, but Shopify put us to a 2v3 with 2 flashes and an aftershock, not to mention the smokes.
There goes the flash. Ten's not getting spotted. It's going to be an easy for him as Dazzle just walks right into his crosshair. Big for Sentinels.
And that's the lead almost dissipated again for Shopify Rebellion. Sentinels won the first second half pistol we had in map 1. I worded it horribly. Won the second half pistol in map number 1, and we're able to recover almost smoothly. And now they've won it here. Can they do the same again? Big questions for Sentinels, and they will be answered. For Spectres, looking maybe to a little bit faster, close the distance with these Spectres. No, like, Bulldogs or anything to set themselves up for the bonus. Maybe a little bit of a tempo change for Sentinels now on the attack.
Absolutely, it is a lot slower, even though they're all wrapped up around the A side of the map. Gotta watch out for this breach, though. Dazzle, right next to the door, has the shorty ready and raring to go. He's actually gonna touch him. They all just walk on by anyways. A is completely free.
Yeah, contacting their way in fully. Similar exec. What Mata was setting up with that ass lane, and Sentinels going in clean. A post-plan situation to come in a 5-on-5. Just the pistols. Well, Shopify to work with, but Util coming in heavy hot.
Oh, and Zelsis is on the front side, able to rack on the stun, rack on the kill. Shazam was able to get 2 out of that, but Moose just 1 kill back just for an old point. Sentinels, they've tied it on back after Shopify won 6 in a row.
Continuing their dominance on the first kill department, 11-3 in terms of first kills and first deaths. Only giving up the first death 3 times. And it's 7-7 for crying out loud. Shopify have been good in recovering these 4-on-5s. Now Sentinels have the real tests against the rifles. Tens, with just ahead Hunter, picks up a rifle. Dapper as well. 2 rifles to carry on through. And this time, with those 3 Spectres, Zelsis, we know, loves to go fast. And we'll see how quick he can get. Shopify will need to slow them down. But there's nobody looking towards B main.
Oh, not at all. It's just going to be a free sight here. So the Neon, he can just keep stretching out towards spawn. That's exactly what Zelsis does. Easy peasy against Dazzle. And no Tens! Finding 2 free kills again on the Mata and Moose, both of them on their way out. A good kill from B-Dog, though. He was full flashed. 2 players remaining for Shopify, but wow, what a tragedy in those back lines.
Yeah, as ready as you can be for the fast play of Sentinels, you surely are not expecting Zelsis to slide through your own spawn into Canteen, and that's Sentinels again. 3 rounds in a row, 3 first kills, and 3 plants equal a win. Still more to go, though, with Shopify. Moose is getting towards his orbital strike, but they will have to sit on the back burner for a little bit longer as they don't have the rifles this time around. And Sentinels, look here at the replay. Tens dealing with that aggression. He loves to play these lurks. Now that he's no longer in that duelist and playing that chamber role, he was always so cautious and working, manipulating the map while his team does something else. And he's been good on these solo adventures. That's where the individuality of this Sentinels roster comes into play, with those individual kind of setups for Tens.
If you could call it a setup, right? Tens. Again, just off of the chamber, right? He just needs to be in a position where he can be free, where he can keep his head on a swivel and be able to frag. That's pretty much what's happening here. 2 players pushing out Dish. He's out on his own, but there goes the stun. Well stunned from Mata, calling out Tens entirely. They're going to be able to get at least some rotations back into the site, but it has to be big here for Sentinels.
We'll see if they can recover. Sentinels have yet to win a 4v5. Despite having the rifles, they are struggling to get. They've been locked out right now. Pressure from Shopify. That man advantage really solidifying this round, unless Sentinels can come up big.
That position around the corner for Dazzle is so dangerous. The Aftershock actually nails B-Dog over in ropes. Sentinels, man advantage, but they don't have any map control currently. Yes, they have a main, but they don't have a whatsoever. Neon around the corner could be so dangerous. Mata still with that SMG could be able to get a lot of damage, especially on Zelsis. But hello, Dapper. Around the corner, has a flash ready and raring to go, but he's not going to use it! Zelsis! He was the target, like I said before, but he doesn't go down! Here comes Tig, though, with this stinger, and he's able to get 2. But Shroud is there for the trade back. Look at the HP on Shazam and Shroud. It was starting to slip out of their hands.
Yeah, starting to slip out, but they do recover nicely for Sentinels. And that 4v5, that's their first 4v5 win.
Oh, they're running the same
That's on
team.
their anti-eco.
Is that how,
Shopify
it works in like competitive play?
They're realizing some of the weaknesses of Sentinels and the fact that you can overwhelm them with this util, similar to what Sentinels did on their defensive side. You need Mac really to give some words of wisdom. You've been getting dominated in that first kill department.
The only person I know is Tens. But it's cool to kind of see like what people run when it comes to higher levels.
He only has 1 first kill of 16 rounds. A fragment of what he had against Cloud9, where he had, I believe it was 5 first kills. I could be wrong. There might have been 6, but you get the gist. B-Dog has been struggling in this map despite boasting a 14-14 AD.
So tough to think about, but to kind of defend B-Dog here, I mean, those first kills didn't actually come a lot from the defensive side at all. He only had 2 first kills on the defensive side of Fracture, which, again, is very surprising. He's playing with the AWP. He should be having more successful first contacts, right?
Yeah. Now
Shroud and Tens.
Hope that
that's the only people I know.
Can find a little bit more success. I mean, I felt like that Shopify on their defensive side against Cloud9, a lot of it came from getting into their face, getting in Cloud9's face, and trying to shut them down. But they have failed again to deny Sentinels a post plan.
I just want to watch this to learn a little more, because I want to actually like do shit.
To try and replicate the aggression.
Wow.
Mata.
Oh,
denied.
Shroud! There you go, Shroud wakes up and takes down Mata. But again, no control for Sentinels at this point outside of
bro, I love that skin,
there's
bro.
his 5th first. That Zelsis up close, looking for something. It is traded back to a 4-on-4, but Sentinels, they know it's the weakened sight. And B-Dog Even 10's in the air, he catches him.
Okay. Very tough there for B-Dog, but he still has to go off. He's suppressed. He can't TP out. 2, 1. No, he's just done. Nade alongside the spray from Dapper. The rotation for Shopify, it's tough. It's 3 separate locations, but Moose is there.
Oh, the trades go back. It's a 2-on-2. Low HP for Dapper and Dazzle. No ultimates. Shroud has backed away to play the molly. He's left his teammate Dapper alone. They're on opposite sides. And it'll be so tricky to work back into this one.
Is Shroud playing for contact so he can get the ult point?
He's just playing for the molly.
He just needs 1 kill, right? There goes the molly very, very early, but that's great
Oh,
timing,
the
though.
timing!
That's going to allow for Dapper through. 1 more player remaining. Tig has nothing to work with.
And 3 different angles to watch. Main, tower, and towards arcade.
Tig, Dapper is so low, and he just can't get a body shot.
Damn.
Dapper, what a finish to that
I
round.
feel that.
Getting 2 kills with 10
Dapper.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. 5 rounds in a row they've won, and 5 rounds have gotten the spike down. You can not stop these guys from getting the spike down. Sentinels, they've got some indomitable will here on the attack.
Just look at that. The molly comes in at just the right time. You have 1 player looking over towards main, of course, checking to see if the brim would wide swing, but great timing from Dapper.
And why would you expect Dapper to be playing alone? You know where the mollies come from. He's on 10 HP. Why would you expect him to be by himself towards arcade? You just don't. They get caught because of it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Battle here over towards main. A main has been taken by Shopify. B-Dog finally ringing out
Here we
true.
go.
They found my trap.
I think something. Sentinels, the only 4v5 they've won is against the anti-eco. Against the eco of Shopify Rebellion. The orbital strike, not enough to stop them, and they're just simply not ready. Dapper already in sight, and Dapper lighting up the kill feed with 2.
Oh, but you had to look out for the neon there. The neon in the middle of sight. Mata wasn't able to do anything with that. The aftershock, though. Shroud!
Catches him!
Shroud just had to be stuck to the plant. Not able to use an orbital strike now. A 3v2, and it's a very possible one for Shopify, even though it's SMGs and a pistol. They have the tour de force, and indeed it rings out right, and Tens can't even run away. B-Dog gets around the angle just in time. The Rolling Thunder not necessary. Shopify keeping themselves in the game in a round where, truthfully, they shouldn't have gotten.
What they needed, Shopify, something to get back in. Their first successful retake, and Sentinels, well, losing another 4v5. Only 1-1 again. Not to fret. They still have guns to work with, rifles to play with, ults to utilize. We'll see if Shopify Rebellion can continue that momentum.
It's been so long since we've seen a good retake. Shopify, they won 6 plants in a row. Sentinels have been doing the same thing here on the attacking side. But here we go. We don't even need to rely on the plant. They wanted to finish it off early. Shopify, a double push over towards Dish. And it just doesn't work out. B-Dog, still the only person here, but he's getting wrapped. And he's gone.
Stuck around maybe a little bit too long. Was banking on the fact Dapper wouldn't use the null command, or maybe it slipped his mind. This round has slipped out of the hands of Shopify in a matter of seconds. Sentinels accelerating on Fracture. I mean, everyone was watching them yesterday, and it felt this was the Sentinels that were slow, deliberate, patient, cautious, composed. Give me a thesaurus, I'll keep on listing the words.
Yeah, that's a lot of words.
This one is quick and rapid. And they do it there. I don't have as many words. I've lost. I don't have a thesaurus with me, so I don't know, but you get the point. Zelsis is the forefront, the spear of this attack. And now Shopify will save these 2 rifles, carrying over Mata's overdrive to maybe help transition them to what would be an eco had they not won the last, but gives them a chance at least. Buy up again.
Feels like it's been a while since we've seen that first interaction for Sentinels, truthfully, go right in this half. And you mentioned it, Zelsis has been the spear to the shield. 7 first kills so far.
He's 7-2, by the way. He's very rarely losing these opening duels.
Yeah.
And it's supported by the util of both Shazam and Dapper. Stunning fault lines. And I mean that literally and metaphorically as a description word.
Descriptors. Here's one to describe this. Chaotic.
Out. No!
What is this? chaos in the middle of main, but again, they still have to re-clear with a flash. Moose has to back out. He was never able to trade there. Still has a second person here. Whoa, whoa, the rolling thunder actually coming in, overwhelming Moose. But no one's actually in there. What is this take for Sentinels?
They slow down, and Tens is going to pivot back towards Dish. Despite the rolling thunder stunning most of these players, actually maybe just the one. Tens, the head peeked on over. That slowdown is going to catch out Moose. This is unfair. That is a ridiculous placement on the fragment grenade. And just like that, Sentinels, the former kings of North America, they're on match point in the lower bracket.
Oh, I can't believe that combo.
Wow, that is
Who are these guys?
That's insane placement.
This is not the Sentinels that we've been watching this year. It just isn't. I refuse to believe.
And I'll tell you, I had a lot of questions, a lot of doubts that Sentinels could compete against a team that played like Shopify, a team that had a little bit more tempo compared to the Guard. And I'll be honest, Sentinels have dealt with it almost flawlessly between these two maps. And on their attacking side, they as well, only letting one round slip through to Shopify Rebellion and B-Dog as the op, and that's all they've got carried over into the second match point they've had to face. And he doesn't even get it. Doesn't even get it. Sentinels are reborn, and they are on match point.
Match point.
4 points to make back for Shopify. It's not exactly impossible, but boy, is it a tall, tall task. And it starts with the economy. Half armor for most of their teammates. They don't even have enough for the full rifles anyways. This just looks tragic for Shopify.
And missing out on a molly for Moose. A piece of util that could be so critical if used properly. And Moose has been a top controller on this Brimstone. We saw yesterday how well he played. Sentinels with a chance, slow, tempoed, has been lost. And Shopify, slowly but surely, start to get antsy.
Taking it step by step. Knife goes out. No other util used though. Total cutoff of noise here for Sentinels, but Shopify, look at the hold here in the middle of A. Double here. It's the high-low setup that Sentinels simply hasn't dealt with yet.
Vapor up close. He's got the pot flash to send them out, but they've been held back. There's ults here to slow them down as well. The null command has shifted far away. 4 players here in a round so critical to Shopify Rebellion. Well, one's been removed.
I mean, how many more can they actually take down? There goes, wait, what? Mata with the overdrive just through the smoke, but again, it just had to be Sentinels backing out. They have to back out. Look how Shopify is closing the space. They open the gate. They do not allow Sentinels to come out of main, but they finally pick up the spike. They finally get that rotation going. And so is Shopify.
They shifted back. They're quick. Celsius to the front. He's got a fast lane to send them up, and he's got to get uncovered. He can get the spike down. They can play the postman. Shazam, this is so risky. He doesn't get anything.
And they're all gone. One away for Shopify to potentially start off their comeback in regulation. Prime Gaming flawless.
And Mata is just, again, he doesn't get as many first kills. He's been honestly getting dumped on in terms of the first kill, first death department, but he is so big with this ultimate. 4 kills, and it keeps him alive. He even denies the spike plan as well. Sentinels 12-9. This is the first time since the inception of this half the spike hasn't gone down in Shopify. It's one that was so critical they denied the spike plans.
Still keep going though. Sentinel still with full cash. Shopify finally around where they have full utility, full guns. And they already started off with a big battle over towards the B side.
And there's already 4 players here.
Yeah, exactly that.
B-Dog has gone deep over towards Arcade. They know the hit is coming.
Such a good pushback. But again, Shopify, you need to somehow regain this tower space. That's a lot of utility coming back, and that's indeed what they do. The Aftershock alongside the Flash. Dazzle's holding on to this.
You can't remove Dazzle, though. He's still sticking around. He's got 1 extra flash to work with, and B-Dog, the timing would have had the peek on a Shazam. Moved his head out for a second. And Sentinels have been shut down, slowed down, but the util has been dumped. Still a molly for Moose. A double flash set up here as well for Tig. Dazzle still remaining in tower, has got full control. 50 seconds left. Keep note of the time. Sentinels are reworking this bottom side of the map. They have to re-clear. Tens is not confident that they haven't pushed through.
I mean, still very much just a waiting game, but they don't want to wait anymore. They just flash through and peek anyways. Great peek from Dazzle. He picks up the one very safely, knows that the spike is there. 30 seconds left. Zelsis 1v1 to take over tower. Here comes the B main space now for Sentinels.
And look at these three players. They are posted in a position where they can deny the spike plants. Mata trying to swing out towards tower is successful for one.
It's only the one for now. Shazam with a trade back. Zelsis alongside Dapper to try to potentially come back in the round. It's a 3v2 clutch.
He spotted?
Zelsis, what a spot. Only able to get the one though. Moves still clearing stairs and spots him out anyways. 50 HP for Zelsis in a 1v2. Able to pick up the first. B-Dog has only a pistol. Zelsis needs a headshot. He's gonna try to run, but B-Dog picks him down with a body shot. And we still keep going.
We hold on for a moment longer. Shopify. Icing on the cake. It's B-Dog to get the final frag, but it's close. Zelsis in a 1v1 had two decisions. Make the dash or stick and make the fight happen. And he chose the first. And Shopify nearly losing this 4v5. Such a great recovery again from Sentinels. They've been so good. Even in the man disadvantages, are able to make those recoveries. We saw it on map 1. And we've seen glimpses here on map 2. A timeout called as well. Raucous to get in their ears, to feed the data, to tell them what they need to do because it's getting close. And they have 2 more chances. From 12 to 8, they had 4. Now it's down to 2.
I mean, man, what a ride. Up until now, it was so rare to even see retakes, right? I mean, you see that one little defuse there from Shopify. That was what? Almost every single round. That was 16 rounds in a row ever since the pistol. Not a single retake worked.
There it finally has crossed for Shopify Rebellion. A critical one as well. When they need it most, they come up big. The retakes. They're a team that works well under pressure. They did it yesterday against Cloud9. They ended up losing in OT. But they were put in that match point situation, and they're here once again. Try and spin back the narrative and to keep their lower bracket run alive. Keep in mind, this team has never won a lower bracket matchup in VCT with this core. There's only been one time that a player on this roster that still stands for Chop Red, that being Moose, has won a match. Ever since then, I've not won a lower bracket game.
It'll be a long time coming. Here comes Sentinels, though, pressuring out B. There's only one person here. How much work can Tig do here? Tig spots the first, takes down Shazam, has a lot more work to do back over towards site, but he's still playing for tower, and he gets 2. Tig, what a hold, and he still has a lot more work to do. 88 HP, and he's able to take down a third. Dapper, yes, has the fragment grenade out, but now it's Tens alongside Zelsis. Has 2 to deal with over towards Jenny.
They know as well the location of 2. Zelsis, he's taking the bait for the fast lane.
Great fast lane.
Denied the info in Tens.
What?
He's dancing around.
What? Okay, Mata is there for the trade, surely, right? But Zelsis, 55 seconds left. Playtime here. Spots 1. What a great angle from B-Dog. 3 rounds in a row going back to Shopify Rebellion. Still 1 more to go, though, for overtime. But even though we've seen so many rounds go towards the side of Shopify, Sentinels' economy is still fine.
And a desperate buy from Sentinels. They've saved just enough to make this round work. Tens will have to work with the light armor, but he will pivot to the Tour de Force. And they're scared. He needs a weapon. Tig is only 2 off of his ultimate. A null command to shut it down. But you look at Sentinels. Accelerators from Zelsis, accelerators from Dapper, and they are going fast.
Zelsis, again, has the overdrive if he wants to use it, and indeed he pulls it out, but great stun coming back from the Neon. Again, 2 in the middle of A. There goes the Knight, there goes Dapper. Can't get Dazzle. The crossfire just works.
There were already 4 players here, and now they're just down to 3 Sentinels. How do you make this work? How do you recover? Because a Rolling Thunder's already had it your way, and Tens has to be massive. Tangible Tens has to be untouchable. He needs another, but he can't get it.
Great trade, but now it's Shazam. A 1v2, both Moose and B-Dog. Drastically different angles. But with one goal in mind, the spike in the middle of A.
One off the Rolling Thunder, Shazam. It's important. Can be so big in this clutch, and they're isolated. They're holding across. But he can isolate one. Did he see the barrel? I don't think it's sticking out of. Might have just been the X-ray, and Shazam has the fault line to force B-Dog. Shazam is doing it by himself, and he creeps out of the open. He creeps out for the kill, and there we go. Overtime again on Fracture, and once again, Shopify Rebellion are the ones to put us there.
Two different times this game, we saw Shopify pretty much down and out for the count. They needed one single opportunity to take it back. Back when it was 5-1, they were pretty much done for the half. It would have been 8-4, something like that for the half. Shopify made it back 6 rounds in a row after that. This time, 4 rounds in a row to push us into overtime. Sentinels, the run hasn't been made yet.
It will be the first time that Sentinels have to switch back to defense, and we know how just abysmal their defense was. And we'll see if anything has changed. No ops, just pure aggression. Tens on the rifle. We know him for the op. We love him for the op, but he doesn't go to it. And Sentinels, what a story it's been for Shopify Bound to bring it back, and how heartbreaking it would be for Sentinels. They can't recover this.
There.
Slow rope back. As again, keep the push and pull for Sentinels. That's a great smoke for them. Establishing some control here over towards A main, but more importantly, forcing Shopify. They want this to use util.
Shazam not on his fault line yet. Can't delay. Zelsis with the stun though.
No,
Let's force them
here.
back, and
What
no.
a shot.
He goes down. Zelsis to fall, and now the rest is succumb.
Shroud just slides on through. They didn't see Shroud at all.
But it doesn't matter.
Mata still swings back and takes him down. Tens and Dapper, the last 2 remaining, both coming from the B side. But all 3 targets for Shopify in the middle of A, gone in an instant.
Does it fall apart like this? Tig.
Surely
Just
not.
underneath. Tens has been so good. He's been finding
no,
kills,
no.
but he doesn't check. Please check, Tens. Turn around.
Yeah.
And a 3v1. Dapper. This is a chance. Prayer. But dashed away by Tig. Whatever Max said to these guys has pulled them from a 12-8 loss to a map point on Fracture.
I can't believe we're here. I really can't. After the 12-8, after Shopify getting pushed back, after getting thriftied on, we've made it to this point. Shopify, if they push it to a map 3, the stakes are so high. We're playing on a map that Sentinel simply isn't comfy on. The comps are completely... It's totally different for both teams in terms of comps. If there's ever a time for Sentinels to close out the set, it has to be now.
It's got to be Raucous to give the words. To try and find it within them. To pull this back. Sentinels were at the line. And they've fallen and they're crawling. They're crawling to get across right now. And Shopify picking up the op for B-Dog is probably one of the biggest things that Sentinels have to be wary of. He's been maneuverable around. He's been coming back to life. 14-14 at the half. And he stands 22-18. And there's so much on the line for these two teams. Shopify, whatever again, Max said to them in that timeout at 12-8, they've won 5 in a row.
This might be the final time that you see Shopify 2 in regular play and VCT play. So let's end it off with a bang. It's going to be a big play over towards A main. It's going to be a double peek for the Neon in Chamber with a fault line early on potentially. Actually comes a bit late.
Right there.
And a fault line for Sentinels actually stops the push.
You get a little bit of contact as well off of that knife thrown all the way from tower by Tig. It's one that Shopify have been utilizing. Recycle here to get the info, but it's a fast play. Quick from Sentinels.
They're going to maintain that full control. Nobody in the middle of A. Mata spraying through, so much damage being done. There goes the aftershock. Dapper shook, but he actually does make it out. All is good for now.
And he gets a fragment grenade out as well, denying any pressure that Shopify wanted to apply. Sentinels again in the post plants have been so good,
Wow.
and they need to do so again.
This is so slow, and Tig is actually fully showing himself. He just wants to go in with a nade alongside the knife. Flashes through, but there's a smoke in front of him. Shroud runs away. There goes another flash. They're just corralling them in the middle of main, and it just doesn't work. Shazam takes down 2 of them, and now Dapper in the middle of sight, combining with Zelsis, combining with all 4 players here. Sentinel's still alive. They're gonna stay alive here in overtime.
We keep on going. The horse that Sentinels have ridden on continues to plow forward in Shopify. Both teams have been failing on their defense. And Sentinels, who strikes first? Who strikes the iron hot, or while it's hot, and wins the defensive round? Tens up close with the shorty, the quick decision. I think that smoke, unfortunately, working a little counterintuitively. That Moose dropped. Another post plant win. And then up this time for Tens. Did not have it in the last round of overtime on the defensive side. The first time he's pulled out an OT.
He's got nothing else but that op to use. He's just gonna hold on to it in the middle of A. As this happens, Sentinels taking control of A main.
And it
B main.
looks like they're trying to replicate the success they had in Tree. On their defensive side, they took this side of the map multiple times, this quarter of the map multiple times.
Tens could easily get overwhelmed in this position, though. He's just gonna be able to get that 1 pick and TP out.
But there's no knife from Tig to deny it. He's in such a free spot, Tens. And there's nothing you can do to flush him out. The stuns, yeah, might overwhelm him, but he can just TP out whenever he wants. A push in, though, from Dapper. This is risky. He's alone.
Plan here from Dapper. The
It's off
timing.
of Tens. It's off of Tens alone.
But again, it's such a tight angle. Dapper. Somehow the reaction has to come in time. That's if he just doesn't get sprayed down. Mata making some good ground, though.
It is deathly quiet. He has one flash to set him
Here
up.
we go.
You need the contact. Tens, does he get the shot?
Tens gets backed off, and Dapper can't get anything.
Seconds left.
The shot goes in, the TP goes out. Mata is in the middle of sight. The triple smokes are up. Shopify safely in the middle of A.
And a fast burst
Spike
there.
planted.
And a 4v5 retake. Sentinels, this is where they struggle. And striking the iron while it's hot. It's Shopify. They forced one off the angle. That's a chance. They smoked it off. Zelsis is getting aggressive. He's already beaten through the smoke, but he's beaten by Mata.
And with the molly, too, there is no way Shazam can help. B-Dog. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
There you go. That's what they were lining up for before. But Tig ended up revealing himself, and the round just ends in a Prime Gaming flawless. Shopify 1 step away from map 3 again.
And that's a heavy hit to the confidence of Sentinels. A burst like that, caught unaware, not prepared. There's no reaction. No chance to react. And Shopify, this is it. All gun rounds, and they are 11-7 in gun round. Shopify. Is this the time? The confidence at Sentinels has to be at an all-time low in this map. Can they recover with another fast play? They did it before. And they do it again. That knife is brilliant, catching 2 and slowing down any pushes Elson wanted.
Knife not spotting all too much. They did get Chamber, though, in terms of B-Dog. This is fast. B-Dog has the shotgun. The 1 pump could have been able to do it. But Tig,
Doesn't
do
get
they
it.
know that Tig is here? There goes the stun once again. Zelsis hasn't even peeked. Tig is just trying to maintain this. And massive flash. Zelsis, he was flashed too, but he still gets it. Sentinels, once again, able to safely make their way into the middle of the site on a round where they absolutely need it.
Covering so quickly to flush out Tig. They know how dominant he's been in that position, and they were scared. They sent Util to set up Zelsis. This time it's Sentinels with the burst, with the pop play. And Shopify Rebellion. 1 to try and swing, the 2nd to follow after, and again, Tens, the untouchable, no damage done, and he takes 2 lives.
Elbow Prime Gaming flawlesses. Back to back for both teams here in overtime. This one was just a bit different, though. For Shopify's, theirs was quite the battle. They had to retake A main for Sentinels. It was just a whole W.
That works.
Who strikes? Who strikes first on their defense? Tens again. No, doesn't go to the op. Switches back to the Vandal. Maybe didn't have the confidence in the last round. Felt that the util was flushing him out. I think it's a better call here. You can be a little bit more aggressive. He's dropped as well a rendezvous. They're taking full arcade control here, though. Yeah, the site's given up, but that's the first blood. Celsius with success.
Yeah, but it's only B-Dog who is already holding back over in Dish, back over in Arcade. Here comes the retake. Tig with a big shot on the Shroud. Tens! He gets his 2, and Moose was able to catch Dapper! Big shot from Moose as he takes down Tens. Now it's a 1v2. Dazzle sees his teammate go down. But Dazzle still has 1 flash to use and an aftershock. Spike in front of him. Zelsis peeks out! 10 HP remaining here for Dazzle. How on earth does he handle this? The aftershock, yes, it goes through, and it actually does cover up the spike just a little bit. Zelsis, not patient enough, but he comes back with the 3rd kill of the round. Sentinels, they strike first in defense.
And they've got it. They've got a chance now, Sentinels. Both teams have not had a successful retake in OT, and that's it. That's what Sentinels needed. Getting that first blood is what queued them up to win it. And Shopify Rebellion, the first time in this position, Mac has called another timeout to sift anything that they've been doing on the defense. They need to be ready. These last couple rounds have been Sentinels burst, pop, fast plays. And we'll see if they have what it takes to slow them down. These are mirror comps. Remember that. In the op, what they did to Tens can happen directly to them. The fault line and flash to force Tens off the angle when he had the op on A, they can do the exact same thing to B-Dog. And I think they're trying to set B-Dog in a position where he can be dominant in first kills. He has had a rough second map. 2 and 4 in the first kill and first death department. 4 first deaths is unlike B-Dog. And he needs to come alive. When his team needed it most yesterday, he stepped up. And they need him more than ever, as this is an elimination point.
This is going back to the point that B-Dog can be so much more impactful on that op. Again, 2 first kills only on the defensive side of Fracture against Cloud9. This one, it's not much better. If anything, it's only been like 1 or 2. But again, it's the early positions for Shopify. They haven't been pushing out a lot on defense. They absolutely need a first pick if it comes towards them, because Sentinels, look how they're lining up to A.
Look how fast Shopify wants to go. Fault line and a smoke set up to take that control. It's a trademark there, but they realize they shifted quick. They don't want anything of it. They don't want to push. They don't want to fight. And Zelsis, is he good to get it? No. He at least stays alive, though, when they get onto the A site.
Oh, no, that's actually just important for Moose. Moose backs on out, got all of that information. This is an even 5v5. An absolute car crash, but boy do we love to see it. Shroud on the front side gets traded out. Shazam going in, but Moose with a double. 1 person on top here for Shopify. It's a 3v2. Tens, Dapper, waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the rotation of the chamber.
Oh, Tens with first. Mike and Tyson trying to pull it back. Dapper in the angle, and Tens with the cross.
Here's the crossfire. They don't have util though. Moose, what a kill on the Tens. Dapper, 1v2, and it's shut down by Moose again. Moose, what an absolute threat so far. Not only in this best of 3, but this entire tournament. The ever-confident controller.
You need him. He's there. Shopify.
Switching sides.
The second successful retake in overtime. And we were at 15 apiece. It's Sentinels who had the chance in the post plant, fought heavy in towards A main, but got denied. The pressure from Shopify was too much. And in the 2v2, they couldn't get it done. Sentinels, and they replicated again here on the defense. Both teams neck and neck. We could go on for an eternity here.
That's hard to say, dude. Hey, if that can even be replicated. That was only the second retake of overtime so far. Both of them being pulled off in the last 2 rounds.
Look at this fight. Look at this fight. 3 players here and only 2 here for Sentinels. But Zelsis, he's dying. Oh my goodness.
Get him! 3 for Zelsis. He connects all the dots. Mata and take the last 2 remaining, but Mata skates on out.
Would you believe it? He doesn't get checked there. Right around the smoke. He plays it expertly. And again, Sentinels. High hopes, high beliefs. They might get it again. Another defensive win here would set them up for another match point. But it's Mata and Tig. Mata has been so good. And he has to be exceptional here.
Mata already used the fast lane. Pick up Spike.
They have 2 flashes.
They do have 2 flashes. That's better than nothing. They also have the knife. Shroud could have gotten a headshot there. Mata with a double. Shazam! Finds both anyways. Could have left it in a very dangerous 1v1, but he shuts it down there. Sentinels, once again, 1 round away from staying alive in VCT.
Lightning strikes there for Shazam. Here's the replay. Zealous, he swing just a little bit too far. It's the first time in overtime the spike hasn't gone down. It's because of plays like this. New blood, fresh blood in the server. Sharks might be swimming, but Zealous is faster. Match point again for Sentinels.
It's going to be fast again. Zealous on the front side, sprinting forward. It's going to be the knife up to try to deny the chamber, but the chamber still has the TP to go. B-Dog.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He is suppressed. He can't go anywhere. Zealous slaps him down. And there's still one more in the middle of the side. Here he goes with, oh no, Mata sprays down one, and actually Moose is there too. The double here for Shopify is so good.
Recovery back, recovery in. Sentinels are slowed down. 2 smokes out, 1 left to work with if they want to try and make the re-hit work, but they've been slowed down. Slowed down, Zealous. That's his 12th first kill, and Sentinels cannot convert. Tens. Up close and looking personal, but he doesn't get it. It's Shazam instead.
No, Shroud. He tried to capitalize on the damage that might have been done to Mata, but Mata, he's fresh. Tens didn't nail the shots. There goes the fault line, though. Big flash in front of Tens. He can't go anywhere.
They're not even considering a shift to your Sentinels. They are committed. And how does he get that, Shroud? Sucker punch to the head. Down goes Tig, and a man advantage regain, and they are shifting. How fast can they arrive? Dazzle, look at where the spike is. It's already there.
Shroud.
He's got an aftershock too.
Shroud not only still has another smoke, but one more kill, and he'll get his ulti.
He's in the body.
What? How much HP did Mata have going through that? Shroud now has ulti. Mata, 20 HP. It is borderline impossible for Mata. 15 seconds left. Swings out. Mike Tyson survives at the end. And Sentinels win a best-of-3 in VCT.
Would you believe it, Sentinels? I can't believe it. A team that honestly no one believed had picked up Shroud. And they did it. They did it again. They put us in disbelief. Sentinels. I mean, let's look back at it once we go to the desk, but for now, we'll talk about it. Zealous, 12 first kills, 3 first deaths. He was the absolute star. You want to talk about Shroud being the big pickup? Yeah, maybe in terms of name, but Zealous in terms of power, he's a heavy hitter, man.
I just can't believe the situation that we're looking at right now. It is the year 2022, and Shroud has won a professional game of Valorant, a professional game of esports, period. It's been 5 years way too long, and yeah, I think for us too as little youngins, yeah, we were barely casting at all when Shroud was a full professional. This is such a cool moment. Shroud, congrats, but for Shopify, that is almost literally their last appearance in VCT play. How do they come back now? For the rest of these players, now it's just making their names known in the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify, it's heartbreak again. In overtime, once more, they lose it on Fracture. And while there's still so much this team that we haven't seen, B-Dog coming up big against Cloud9, nearly doing it here again, but it wasn't enough. Shopify are out of LCQ, the first team to drop, and there's so much to break down here. We're going to throw it to a break, but our analyst desk, stick around because we've got the interview with Sentinels and so much to digest.
I can't believe it. 2022, the year of our Lord. Sentinels actually managed to pick up a victory. It feels like this has been so long in the making. We got this new roster, and they've finally done it. Yes, it got a little scrappy there on the second map, but victors nonetheless.
6 BO3s in a row that this team lost, and finally Sentinels, after making a massive change, come back, get a win, and stay alive in the tournament. It's so awesome to see, but you can't help but feel the heartbreak for Shopify because now 2 days in a row, they lose in a super close overtime, going the distance on Fracture, and end up falling in a 2-0.
Absolutely grueling. First against Cloud9, then against, then against Sentinels right here. Absolutely insane. But of course, who better to carry Sentinels across the finish line than Zelsis, one of the new pickups for the squad. Of course, he's gonna bust out the Neon. No one saw that coming, but he's on it for this map. Forget the KO. This guy was absolutely opening up sights here for Sentinels.
I mean, it was absolutely massive. He was playing up against Mata in this one, who maybe has a little bit more experience on that Neon. It looked so much more comfortable in the hands of Zelsis. The way his team was setting him up for success was fantastic. We've kept praising Sentinels for the initiator utility, and while it wasn't Zelsis playing the role in this one, him and Shazam on the Breach and the Neon did such a great job in conjunction.
At the same time, Mata had a huge step up after the other day. We were wanting to see more impact out of him, and it wasn't just the B-Dog show for Shopify. And that's one of the huge reasons why they were able to make it to OT again. The rest of the team stepped up behind it, but this play from Zelsis in OT just absolutely shut everything down. He's able to get the walk-up. Sometimes it's the flashy, speedy play. Other times, it's playing around the smokes, and right there, he absolutely got a critical round for Sentinels.
I mean, you can see it on the stats. 4-1 in the first kills against each other. Zelsis was diffing the more experienced Neon player. It talks to the preparation that Sentinels put in ahead of this. But also, let's give credit where credit's due, because despite that really rough start, and like you mentioned, the rough game yesterday, it was Mata who rallied back, and it was Shopify as a whole. Remember how that game started? It was almost a 5-1 scoreline in favor of the Sentinels. However, for Shopify, they rally back and they make that game damn close.
As we take a look at the Prime Gaming post-match highlights, we'll also be reminded that the first map for Mata was also a bit difficult as he goes to the Yoru and it doesn't really work out. I think that in general, I liked the fact that Shopify was willing to take a risk, but it just felt like it needed more time in the lab.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough one, right? This Shopify team had a lot of hurdles to get past just getting through this tournament. At the end of the day, though, Sentinels come out and they couldn't pick up the win yesterday, but today in map 1, it's Shroud, new player 1. Now in the second map, it was new player number 2 in Zelsis. I just love seeing these two players have such an immediate impact on the roster.
And he's not a new member of the squad, but the new role for Dapper has been looking really comfortable. The Fade play, again, on map number 1 was excellent. Map number 2, he continued with that strong performance. It's been awesome not only seeing those folks that are new, but the older players on Sentinels being able to flex their roles and look like a new squad.
And he was always Mr. Consistent for Sentinels. I can't even begin to count the amount of rounds I saw from his Killjoy on Ascent back in the day, where he's just buying rounds back for the Sentinels. Now he's taking on a much more proactive role within the team, and that flexibility is able to shine, and his prowess as a player absolutely is up there with some of the better initiators.
Yeah, again, on that initiator role, Tig as well, showing that big step up. It really is tragic that we're saying goodbye to Shopify so early. They put up a fight, but Sentinels, they recovered, and they finally won a BO3.
Well, we are ready for our Verizon post-match interview, so we can go ahead and shuffle the analysts away. I think you guys know who we're going to talk to, and it's no surprise that we're bringing them in either, especially after that first map performance. Speaking specifically of one of the newest members of Sentinels for the Verizon post-match interview, we welcome Shroud to the stage. And it's kind of cool to say that because it's been such a long time since we've been able to see you in competitive mode. How does it feel to finally be back on the grind set?
I mean, it feels good. It's difficult for sure. It's been a while, you know.
I gotta ask, coming into yesterday, it's been a while since you played at a competitive level. Was there any pre-match jitters, maybe going back to your earlier years of competition, going back to that old Manajuma CS squad when you're going to a LAN for the first time? Did you kind of feel that building up because it's been such a long time?
Actually, yeah. And as weird as it is, I think we all felt that. When we went into that first BO3, we had such like high energy even before the game started, rather than like calm energy. And I'm more of a calm guy, so we came in like super hyped, and I think that might have been the jitters. I'm not sure.
Did you feel more comfortable as that match progressed? Did you kind of like find that comfort zone, or were you still like trying to adjust as the pace of play here is maybe a little bit different compared to even just the scrims you've been doing in practices?
I mean, it took a little bit to get that comfort. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like I needed that 1BO3. It's been like 5 years. Okay, I had some jitters, but I'm feeling comfortable now. I'm feeling good.
I mean, you mentioned it's been 5 years. I know you're far from old and you've been praised for your mechanical prowess, but being surrounded by younger players in a game with such a high pace of play, does that make you feel like a boomer at all when you watch the way they play the game?
I mean, it definitely makes me feel like a boomer when I play ranked, but not so much in like scrims and matches.
You mentioned in a video piece as well that TenZ specifically and some of the other players look up to you because of your career and how they came up in the scene, looking specifically at their time in CS and then transitioning over to Valorant. Do you feel like that makes you more of like a mentor for some of these younger players, or that it gives you more control and more say in what the roster does and plans for?
I don't think it's like being a mentor. I think it's more of, as weird as it is, just like kind of like a weird, like maybe inspiration, like kind of lifting people's spirits, maybe. I think it's closer to that than like being a mentor, because I'm coming into Valorant with 0 professional experience. I don't really have much say in what's right and what's wrong, besides like the fundamentals, like how to trade, but everybody knows how to do that. So it's more of like an inspiration, you know, I'm lifting people's spirits, hopefully.
You mentioned the map one yesterday kind of having some jitters. Map one today, you were like melting people, specifically as Viper in your ult. You were having such a great game. Did you feel like you were just in the zone in map one, like you were hitting your stride just like you had several years prior?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like the second the day started, I was just feeling good, you know. So I just ran with that energy, feeling super confident right off the rip, and just kind of carried. Right, once you have that one really good round, I mean, the rest of the series is just going to be great. That's just how I function.
You've had a month of practice with this team now, which resulted in this trip to start the LCQ. How do you feel the team is stacking up? How high is the ceiling for this Sentinels roster, and have you even gotten close to it yet?
Honestly, I don't think we've gotten close, because like, yeah, we've been here for a month, or well, we've been at boot camp for about 2 weeks, so we got a lot of practice in, sure. But in the grand scheme of things, how much is 2 to 4 weeks? It's really not that much. If this is a roster that would stay together, ooh, I think it'd be dangerous, because just the small stuff that we were managed to do here in these 2 to 4 weeks, in my opinion, is insane. It didn't really show in the first BO3, but I promise we got more to show.
Well, I'll go ahead and let you go. Congratulations on the win. It's awesome seeing you guys compete and find the win. Sentinels finally back on top in a series. Feels like it's been a long time since we said that.
Thank you.
Let's bring our analysts back in as we just kind of talk things over. I love him admitting, like, hey, yesterday we did kind of have the jitters. We did feel nervous. There was like this anxiety of like, oh my God, it's like the first day of school and I'm going to see all my friends again. It's like getting back into that competitive mindset. It's an adjustment. Yeah, sure, he's a great gamer. He's a great player. He competed for years. He still plays in a casual setting, but it's totally different come match day.
I mean, you can put as much stock as you want into experience. You can build up that, hey, this guy's been around forever. He's competed in other games, but it's a completely different beast. The second that game starts, the second that you're in the server. And I think it's great, especially that they're coming into this tournament. You have double elimination. You have that chance to get warmed up, get ready, and now it's grind time in the lower bracket.
Oh, yeah, and I know exactly like what he means when he's talking about like that energy anxiety in a way where you come in like almost so excited. It's not like, oh gosh, what's going to go on? You know, you're just like, you're really ready to go. And the first time something can go poorly, things start to fall around. So I like that we saw Sentinels get some momentum early today. And you know, we've always said this team has so much potential. We saw a little bit of that today. I am excited to see in just the short time we have with Sentinels what they can get for us.
And there's still so much more to come, but that does wrap things up for the day. Want to take a look, though, at one of the top plays of the day. The AIM Lab flick of the day has to go back to the first series, and it's going to be for our man Trent. He was popping off. We talked about it yesterday, a return to form, and we saw it again today.
I mean, I feel like this position is just the home ground for Trent. Whenever he's on that B site on Ascent, he's popping off. So many of his biggest clips have came here, and here was another one against Cloud9. Some pivotal moments from him, both yesterday and today, to get that victory over Cloud9.
Yeah, you know, at this point, I see Trent clips. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even that impressed anymore. I just expect Trent to do this when he's on this site. The man's an absolute machine. And it's been fantastic to see in just the 2 BO3s that he's played already that he is looking absolutely back on top form.
Hashtag Trent things. But, I mean, you can see the stats speak for themselves. Trent's been doing fantastic, and you'll see that as well as we take a look at the bracket, because their team has been performing at a level above what maybe we had anticipated coming into this. Again, some of these teams had question marks coming in. Sentinels being one of them, the Guard being the other. So they win their opening series, and then they win today 2-0 over Cloud9. Even just the change from day 1 to day 2, the Guard looked great.
I mean, you talked about the first day at school, the nerves. I think that showed in that first series for the Guard. But now today against Cloud9, they look confident. They came in with a solid game plan. And despite on one of those maps going down, having a rough start, they came back, kept steady, and complete the 2-0.
Yeah, my guard stonks are definitely up compared to what they were previously in the tournament, even though they come in as the #1 seed. But I'm looking at FaZe versus 100 Thieves. Winner of that, in my eyes, moves on to become the favorite of the tournament. Guards still have a lot to prove, and they'd have to play against the winner in that match. But FaZe, 100 Thieves, that winner, they're a finalist.
Yeah, and on the other side of the bracket, down below, you have EG versus NRG coming up tomorrow. EG was one of our teams last stage that was the most improved, that came in and found such good success. And NRG as well wowed us in the playoffs. It's wild that one of those squads is going home in the first round.
That one absolutely hurts. That's good Valorant. You know you're in for some good Valorant tomorrow. 2 really close games, 2 very high quality matches.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe obviously getting a lot of praise from us coming into this one. A lot of people looking at them as potentially the favorites to take this. And EG was high on that list as well. 100 Thieves, maybe a little bit there too. NRG, the lower bracket grinders. There's so many storylines coming into tomorrow, but we are done for the day. We will be back tomorrow with those final matches for week 1. 1 team being sent home, 1 moving on into the upper finals. We hope to see you then.
I was too focused playing a game. But hey, it ended. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you feel me, see y'all later.